What's up, guys? This is Frenzy. Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start off with Goldenvoid. This castle level's 18. Let's just see what he's got. Alright, so there's a Snotter hiding behind there. Okay, the Squidly's kind of weird. I thought that was actually like the pull to your next group. But all in all, like this is a pretty strong double pull, I think. Especially with this jelly wall, I don't really want to walk back. Through it, especially on a night, because I don't have roll or charge or anything, so I can't get through this quickly. So it kind of forces me to engage both groups unless I want to pull back behind this corner and then just wait there for a while. And ideally I probably should have done that and then like rotated, although I just accidentally used the wrong key again for rotate, so I have one less potion. Hopefully I won't get killed because of it. I guess I should pull only one group at a time. Alright, so this is pretty standard. You have the Scorpio here so that it has the chance of pulling you into multiple groups. That's good. Let's see what you have with it, because I don't think you have Mega Muttons yet. Alright, so you have Archers. I would almost prefer, unless you use this Hungerbot somewhere else, to have this Hungerbot on Pinstrike, so it bashes you down and then it lets your archer shots hit more often. Because you don't want to pull people towards the archers, because then they can just cleave everything and it'll die really quickly. But if you bash me away, you have like the added benefit of maybe I land inside of the mouse wheel trap area, and the archers should all get their shots off. Unfortunately, these eyeballs are too slow to actually work with Cyclops charge. If anything, your Cyclops charge would probably make it less effective, because a lot of the time, like, there could be a chance of him knocking me out of the way or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Cyclops works well with Stairmasters on that specialization, though. I'm not actually sure. Oh, there was a Snotter inside the wall again. I was going to say, I'm not sure exactly what caused them to aggro, but just abuse corner for a second and they die pretty quickly. Alright, so Zeeks are still pretty good against Knights at least. Alright. I should probably use a potion right now, just to be safe. But so far I really haven't seen anything bad with your castle. You use a lot of archers, so that's something that you have to just keep in mind. When you're using a lot of archers, especially early on, like in the lower levels, like 20 or lower, archers make it so that you can get through a castle's timer very quickly. So as long as someone takes their time through here and like kites around corners and stuff like that, and makes certain to not get like hit by all 4 archers or at any of the groups, they shouldn't have too big of a problem with this castle. And it's not because like, it's just the way that the game is set up right now. Lower level castles just have this like disadvantage because they have less mobs but the same number of potions as like a level 30 player. So it makes it difficult to create castles lower level that are focused on killing an opponent rather than timing them out. I mean, I would pretty much suggest that these days, the only way to really defend your castle on the lower levels is probably to go for like a timing out type of thing, until they rescale the potions differently. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't that many problems. It should be working if there wasn't like 4 potions per attacker. I don't think you'll end up using 4 potions. You might end up using 4, but I don't think you'll go over that all that often. Maybe slightly, like a level 17 might have some trouble or something like that. 16, 17, maybe even 18 that's under-geared or something. Or someone who gets hit by a lot of archers. But just keep that in mind. Maybe you want to switch out, you know, some of your archers for more tanky units or something like that. Especially like that Stairmaster thing that you had, 2 Stairmasters and a Cyclops. You could definitely switch that out for something different. You know, a Scorpio, Pete Pound more. I would say more Cyclopses, but you don't have them on like over the head slam, and you're using them throughout your castle, so probably just one of the other things that I mentioned. But yeah, pretty good castle. We'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, next up is Tomcialio, castle level 21. Alright, so I've talked a little bit about Pete Poundmores and why I don't really like them on charge. Mainly their damage just doesn't scale as well. That's the basics of it. As on the other 2 abilities. Charge, in my opinion, is really good for only utility. And I don't want to keep, you know, repeating the same things over and over, because that can't be entertaining for you guys. So that's pretty much all I'll say on it. It's just, I don't think it's really worth it. Alright, so this is a pretty solid double pull. Especially if somehow like the charge came and then you pull me back into the fire, I think that's a good combo to have. That's mainly why I do like Scorpios plus Mega Buttons when I'm doing double pulls. Honestly, because elites are like the only way to go sometimes, and they're one of the 2 best elites in the game, even after the nerf. I mean, they're just good units. Jimbos and Zeeks, I think, are more situational. Like, that was a pretty good spot for a Zeke. I would almost prefer him in this specific spot to be on headshot, just because you get that stun, and then it's a long corridor, so you can shoot down those 3 arrows, and most of the time at least 2 of them probably will hit, especially if you get stunned. But this is a spot where I'd probably like Spread Eagle. So I mean, it's kind of up to you what you want to do with it. I think either one is pretty viable at this point. Alright, so I see what you were going for there. The problem is the Snotter wasn't big enough to actually block for the entire body of the Hunger Bot. So I was able to headshot that down and not get pulled back. But what you were going for is you wanted me to get pulled back, and then if I run backwards, I get stuck into this goo, and then, you know, I get hit by the Jimbo. Alright, so I've actually recently changed this room to look very similar to this. I've switched out one of my Scorpios with a Mega Mutton, because Scorpios are quite a bit weaker now. And then this is just weird. Is that like all that is in this room? No, there's a Mega Mutton over here. Can I hug this wall? Okay. Alright. I don't know about the Squidlies. I've never really had them do all that well for me. This would be probably a little bit better against knights, but for archers you just drop a volley and then you can, you know, shoot down whatever teleports away or whatever. What's this back here? A couple smelly warriors. Ideally I would volley this. But I don't know if I'll have the mana. There we go. That's good volley. So the boss room, I actually would think that Pinstrike would be better for this boss room because you want to interrupt people. Like volley is actually kind of a weird animation, right? It doesn't go off right away. You have to like raise your bow into the air, and if you get smacked back while you're doing that, the volley won't go off. So a lot of the time when you have a Scorpio, and let alone 2 Scorpios on Pinstrike, a lot of the time you'll get interrupted. Obviously the same thing can happen with hooks. If you get hooked, it won't go off either, but the hitboxes seem to be a little bit bigger on Pinstrike, or maybe you just don't care about it as much, and it combines well with headshot archers. So that's just something to consider. I don't know. All in all, like, it's not a bad castle. I just think that, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bit too over-leveled, probably. Because, I mean, I made it through with a pretty decent amount of time, about a minute left, and all 4 potions. I think that I'm just a lot better at dodging skill shots than most people, and I just have amazing gear at level 24, so it's almost like a level, like, 27 went through your castle or something. So yeah, we'll jump to number 3 in just a second. Alright, and lastly we have Mr.Strategy, castle level 18. Alright, so this is a pretty good group. It adds a little bit more defense to the Puppeteer, where normally if you had Bodyguard you would only be defending the Jimbo. But then you notice there, if you pull the Jimbo outside of the area of effect... I'm a little confused why that guy's on what is it, Raising Hell, I think is the specialization's name? Because, I mean, these guys are terrible. Like, I can just kite these through, and they can be like a source of hit points for me, or a source of mana. They can just follow me throughout the castle, and if I need to heal up, I can just use Healing Strike on them. I'm not sure if it was a mistake that you used Raising Hell, it's just not really a good specialization, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't really like it. I mean, I can just kite these guys all day, and as my Healing Strike comes up, I can just use it on them. They're just not scary at all. But either way, if you change that out for something a little bit better, probably Medic. You can use Enrage if you're good at using Enrage, but sometimes it's a little difficult to make it work. This one's weird as well. I'm guessing you have another Puppeteer that you want to raise these guys all into skeletons again. So, I mean, I guess it was on purpose that you used Raising Hell. I just think it's not really worth it. If you'll notice, I mean, these guys literally do, you know, 10 damage or something to me. It's kind of silly. And they don't have enough hit points to really stand up to even a basic attack. Guess I could rotate this. I like this group, though. I would probably like it better if the Hungerbot was on Pinstrike instead, but I think either one is fine. It's just really to delay the person so that he takes extra shots, and you have a good chance of doing a lot of DPS with that group. But I think if people are having an easy time with their castle, the biggest problem is raising hell. I just don't think it's worth it at this point. I don't know why they do so low damage, but they just do. I mean, I don't remember what your castle level was, a 17 or an 18, I think? Because, I mean, these guys are all level 18s. This is good. This is actually difficult. I would move these mines out of the way, though. It just gives me cover to hide behind as they're charging up. And then I can kind of pull one out of the way. Yeah, definitely move the mines, because that's hindering you quite a bit for people who are good at dodging behind mines and then come out and just, you know, lashing flames one in. But I like triple Zeke on headshot. I think that's actually an interesting boss room because it has so much potential to do a lot of damage. You know, like maybe switching one out with a Pinstrike Scorpio or something to add a little bit of crowd control so that they can't just stand there and fight the Zeeks however they want to will probably be the best. Maybe, I mean, not probably be the best, but it's an option if you wanted to like try that out. But I think triple Zeke is fine. It's just a quick boss room, so you'll have to keep that in mind because, you know, I can get through your castle a little bit quickly. But I think that's more because of the raising hell rather than the boss room itself. So yeah, not too bad of a castle. I just think that the specialization isn't really worth it. But that is number 3, so we'll end the video here. If you guys enjoy what I do, please subscribe. If you want to be a part of viewer casts, you can email me at frenzycastleruns, or comment on a video or comment on my castle, give me your in-game name, and I will get to your castle whenever I have time. So thank you guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.